to Character GPS, your guidance system for life. Our students here our campers have worked very hard for 4 days to learn all these principles of success. And we want to just remind parents again that these are donors that have supported Character GPS with lunches and other donations. And Ms. Debbie, we have evaluation forms for all the parents, so if you will fill those out and drop those off to us. There's a basket out near the front of the church there. That's how we get our grants, so we can offer our Character GPS camps for free, right? All right, so let's jump in. So our mission started back in 2011. I was the Vice President of Human Resources at Raymond James. I was responsible for 10,000 employees, and it was fun to make millions of dollars and everyone's getting rich, but we felt that there was something more important, and that is the future of our country and our culture and our society. That is these young men and women right up front here. So I left Raymond James. We designed this program from all the leadership training I had been providing to presidents and vice presidents of companies, so we could put it in an understandable form that the kids could learn now and start to build the habits for success. And these kids have worked really hard for 4 days, and they really have learned a lot of things, and we're going to share those with you here kind of in a quick summary. So here's a video that kind of explains the intentions of our program. Oh, back. Right. Here we go.
Our young adults are surrounded by negative influences from the media and problems like bullying, disrespect, and lying. Character GPS can help our communities get back on track. Students are engaged in 8 weeks of interactive multimedia workshops that focus on real-life application of 16 character values. Lessons include practical exercises, action plans, and assessments to help integrate these values into thoughts and actions. Let's all
work together. Okay. So our 16 core values for success is what our program is based on. And as you saw in the video, it's a team effort, right? We're all working together, including our keynote speaker, Bob Canigliaro, who just walked in. Bob, wave hi to everyone. He's going to have some words of wisdom for us all. So again, the opportunity, as you saw in the video, is we're not trying to get kids to be compliant. I mean, it's nice when kids do what they're supposed to do, but we want to do it because it's their heart. We've reached their heart that they know it's the right thing to do, and that's what makes them leaders. So we've been helping the kids realize they're not trying to fit in, they're trying to actually stand out and do the right thing, and then other kids will start following them. So we always start off here with saying, here's today, you can't change your past. What can you change, guys? The future. What's the shortest distance from today to your great future?
A straight line.
A straight line. But what happens?
Distracted.
We get distracted, right? So we've been talking about the different kind of distractions that our kids face these days. You as parents are quite aware of them, right? And so we've been working on each of our 7 toolkits help kids to reduce or eliminate the distractions that they have in their life. So we want to help them get to this great journey to their amazing future. And one of the things then is we say it's like driving a car. The rear view mirror is small. We look back, we learn from our past, but we focus our energy on the future. We don't live in the past, right? We learn from it. So the windshield is much bigger than that rear view mirror. So we want to be looking at our future and where we're going to be successful. So the first thing that we did, we talked about tools for making decisions, right? And those tools happen to be like a compass. So we asked the kids, do you know where north is? And if you were out in the woods and it was a cloudy day, you couldn't look at the sun, would you know where north is? Get your bearings. And we had the kids take a guess at where north was. But then I asked them, would you bet your life on that guess? And they realized, I wouldn't. But we realized most of our kids go through their lives guessing, hoping that they're right. That's why it's kind of stressful. We're going to live in a very complicated, time. But if you have a tool that you know works, right? Then you're not guessing. You're making good decisions on principles of success, right? So we had Lily be the first to work with our compass, right? And she pointed the right way, and so if everyone else was following Lily, they were going to be in great shape, right? So we're training our leaders to know how to use the tools to make good decisions. So another metaphor, along with the compass, is we talk about the weather vane. So we see weather vanes at airports, right? And they point to in what direction? Where the wind is blowing. Does the wind change directions? It's kind of like our emotions, right? We're up, we're down. But if you make decisions in how you feel, you'll make mistakes, right? So we asked the parents, have you ever woken up and you didn't feel like going to work? Does that ever happen, right? But what do? You go to work because you're not a weather vane, you're a compass. You do the right thing even when you don't feel like it. And that's what we were training our young leaders here, is you make the right decisions even when it's not popular. But some kids want to be like a weather vane. And of course, parents, you've heard this, well, everyone else is doing it. Guys, is that a good excuse for doing something? No, and often it's the wrong thing if everyone else is doing it, right? So our leaders have learned to do the right thing even when it's not popular, because they know that that decision will create a good outcome in their lives. And if someone else follows them, they're helping that person along the journey of life too. So these principles that they've been learning this week are what they base good decisions on. But people that are weather vanes, we call it sad living. Because who they focused on? Themselves. You always get what you want when you want it? No, they have adversity. And then they get disappointed. Here we are, the richest country in the world. We have the most disappointed people. It's kind of sad. I've been to Haiti, I've been to the Philippines, where people have almost nothing. And they're happier, right? Because they don't need all the stuff to be happy. So our young leaders here have been realizing that our materialistic world gets caught up in all the stuff. And then we try to pressure our parents to get all the stuff, right? And that's often not the best use of the family's resources. So we talked about wants versus needs, right? Parents are working on needs. Wants kind of are secondary, right? So instead of being lost, we want them to follow the GPS approach, right? Making good decisions by seeking wisdom and guidance from parents, teachers, right? Coaches, people that are going to help them make decisions in their lives. Making proactive, thinking ahead choices, not just spur of the moment emotional. And so they get what we call good luck, but it's not a shake of the dice. It's a product of your choices. And so we're excited about the training that you've had, that now you know how to make good choices, and that you're going to have great opportunities in your life. So we set goals to motivate ourselves, and that is what we understand. So our kids learn how their brains work, okay? First of all, we have a primitive part of our brain, our animal instincts, the cerebellum, right? Fight or flight. But we don't let our emotions, right, drive our decisions. We use our frontal lobe. But how old do you have to be for the frontal lobe to be fully developed? Do you remember? About 25. And they all admitted, no one here was 25. But we said, who in your life is at least 25 who can have a fully developed frontal lobe, has life experience, and cares about you? So point to someone right now that you know it's your parents, right? So it's amazing how during our 4 days of our camp, our parents end up being really smart by the end. Because, oh yeah, that's what mom and dad's been telling me, right? So we're just kind of reinforcing some of that good knowledge. But the other thing is our kids learn how their brains learn. So that they can learn, they can be a rocket scientist, a brain surgeon, anything they want to be, once they know the process for learning. We'll share that with you in just a minute. So they learned a lot about the miracle of our brains. So if we're trying to get from today to our great future, and you think about, like in the middle is like the river of our culture, the life, there's a strong current in our culture that's pulling our kids away, distracting them. But if we had stepping stones over that river, over the current, we could get to the other side, right? That's what our 7 toolkits for GPS does. So we started off with our first toolkit, which is PR. What does that stand for, guys? Proactive responsibility. Good, all right. So we make good choices. We're thinking ahead, right? If we make a mistake, we don't blame our parents or someone else. We take responsibility, right? We don't try to lie our way out. We tell the truth, and we try to learn from our mistakes. So once we're heading in the right direction, the second stepping stone across is my favorite. Kane do it, right? It sounds corny, but my last name's Kane. We were raised in a family of 7 kids. You didn't go up to my folks and say you can't do something because you knew what the answer would be. Your name's Kane, you can't do it, end of discussion, right? My parents, we're not going to waste time on excuses. You're going to learn how to figure out things in life. The third stepping stone, TD, which stands for? Talents Discovered. So all of our kids took a Myers-Briggs personality survey to find out what their natural talents are. Develop those talents, right? Work from your strength, and then you can develop other talents. So once you know what your talents are, now we're ready for V, which stands for? Vision. So what could you do with these talents to make a positive difference in this world? And they learned that because they're priceless, right, they have a unique opportunity to do something that no one else is equipped to do but you. So then we go to our 5th toolkit, our 3T, our self-management, which stands for managing your time, temptation, and treasure. Very good, right? And we know as adults, we still have to manage those things, right? Are we managing time, temptation, and treasure properly, right? Once we can manage ourselves, now we're ready for healthy relationships. So our MR stands for?
Meaningful relationships.
Meaningful relationships. So we're thinking win-win, not win-lose. And of course, relationships are all based on the R word, which is what? Respect. And who do you start off first respecting? Your parents, right? God, the authorities in your life. When we respect others, then we're able to have healthy relationships. So if you want people to be kind to you, what do you do first?
Be kind to them.
If you want people to respect you, what do you do first?
Respect them.
Respect them. See, our leaders, they have got it figured out to have healthy relationships. So it's win-win. How do we help each other on the journey of life to get to the highest level, TLC, which stands for?
Team love collaboration.
Beautiful. We love to collaborate with each other. We get more done together than we can on our own. So once we then can navigate over this chaos in our world, knowing the right steps, can you get to your great future?
Yeah.
Okay. So think of these as like stepping upstairs, right? We're building these toolkits, our competence, our maturity, right, to get to the highest level, which is teamwork. And I tell that when I hired people at Raymond James, I interviewed thousands of people, got resumes. I hired people that were very capable, but I hired people that said the magic word, which is what? Teamwork, right? So where can you practice teamwork right now? At home, right? Or your sports teams, at school, right? So having a great home where you're helping your parents, working together. Sometimes our teenagers come home and they treat it like a hotel. They check in and expect room service. But we know it's home as a team, right? We work together, we help each other, and that what makes our family work well. So we're climbing up these stairs to the highest level. So we just had our kids today, looking back now at these 7 toolkits, we can use this tool called a CQ. An IQ is an intelligence quotient, right? What's our potential for intellectual knowledge? EQ is our emotional quotient. How do we handle our emotions? CQ is your character quotient. How mature are you? And by using these 7 different parameters, they started to measure. When they came in 4 days ago, they circled, they put a square, how far they come, and most of our kids racked up at least like 20-some points of gain in 4 days. So this is how they're realizing that they're making great progress. Now the key is to go apply this. And we're in a perfect time, because when does school start, guys? Monday, right? So perfect time to put this into play and see the real benefits from your learning here. We're also an anti-bullying program, so each of the 7 toolkits has a component to help them learn how to deal with difficult people. And there's not just bullies in the kids' world, there's bullies in the adult world. We know too, right? You have to learn how to deal with difficult people. But also, sometimes our kids our culture teaches them things that are not true. And they come to believe these things. So in our program, we have to have them kind of unlearn what they learned, like what Yoda said, right? You got to learn the truth. So sometimes our kids are convinced that they're victims, right? Poor me. We say, no, you're a victor. You can decide what to do with your life. You can make a difference. Sometimes they think, I can't be responsible. Parents, you ever heard that? But we said, no, you're capable. You can do it, right? Sometimes they think, I'm broken. Something maybe has happened in their lives. But we say, you're not broken, right? You are capable. You can overcome whatever you've endured. I'm not smart. That's a common thing I hear from a lot of kids. Well, we taught them how their brains learn. They now know how to learn, right? All of our kids are smart here. How about sometimes they feel they're worthless, right? They make mistakes, they don't feel good about it, they hear negative messages around them, but we say, don't listen to those messages. You are priceless. You were made priceless, and nothing you or the bully can do can change that. That is huge, right? When you know you're priceless. Okay, then you know, it says, I'm not talented. Everyone has natural talents, and we did that Myers-Briggs to point out the 16 different types. We also say sometimes, well, I don't think I fit in. That's not the point. You're not trying to fit in, right? You're trying to be a leader. You're going to stand out, and then other people are going to start following you. It takes a lot of pressure off the teenage years, right? And then sometimes they feel alone. So what do? Well, we can join teams. Our family team, school teams. We tell the kids, if you see someone sitting by themselves, what should you do? Be a friend to them, right? So we'll be talking about all these things that they can make choices to figure out, but they don't have to do it themselves. They can use the coaches, be coachable. Listen to your parents and teachers and people that are trying to help you. So our first toolkit, proactive responsibility, is about managing those emotions, right? The primitive brain versus kicking into your frontal lobe. So reactivity is where we, number one mistake that I think all of us make as humans, right? We get mad or angry or hurt, and we say and do things without thinking about the consequence. So our kids, we've been now practicing slowing down, creating the freedom to choose based on your values what's the best response. And by doing that, even when life throws you lemons, you can make what?
Lemonade.
Lemonade, right? So it's not what happens to your life, it's how you respond to it. It's not where you start in life. We talk about many heroes that were very poor, but they found their talents, they found their purpose, and they've had then great success in their life, right? So we use the activity called Stab the Potato, and hopefully some of your kids talked about that. We have a flimsy straw and a solid potato. They have to stab the straw through the potato. If you take just a stab at it, you're not successful. But when you learn the technique, right guys, then you create your success. So we got to learn techniques, the right way to do things. We used an iceberg as another metaphor of who we are. We see people on the outside, right? But you don't judge a book by its cover. Who you are is your character on the inside. But some people will also try to fake it. They'll try to look cool or look good, right? But on the inside, they're empty. So we say, like, when you squeeze a lemon, you put it under pressure, right? What comes out of a lemon? Sour lemon juice, right? So we find out under pressure what's really going on inside people. But if you have developed a kindness to other people, confidence in yourself, you're like a peach. When you get squeezed, what comes out? Sweet peach juice, right? And I know a lot of your parents that we've talked to, you have great parents here. You are very lucky. We work with kids from the detention center that have some really tough home lives, right? So you just appreciate again that you've got caring parents that you know are there all the time. So we practice our 16 core values like truth. When you practice the fundamentals, after 30 days, what happens? It becomes your habit, right? You're not faking it. You're the real deal. You're a truth keeper, like Abraham Lincoln, right? It wasn't a campaign slogan. He really always told the truth, even when it was hard. And people trusted him, right? So we want to have these positive outcomes that we're the real deal. People can count on us. They can trust us. And that's why you become leaders. His players loved that they trusted him, right? Because he was a leader who never gave up. They had 8 come-from-behind victories that year with the Broncos, made it to the playoffs and beat Pittsburgh, who was supposed to be the Super Bowl favorite, right? So when you are a leader that doesn't give up, you affect all the people on the team around you, right? You give them the belief to stick with you, and you can win that game of life. So having a can-do attitude, my dad was the last of the Texan Canes, And what happens to you when your family, there's no offspring? What happens to that branch of the tree? It dies. My mom and dad were only children but had 7 kids. So I don't know how they did it, right? They kind of had to figure it out. But plenty of Canes, so there's plenty of Texan Canes, but they then had to pay and raise a family of 7 kids. Not easy these days, right? But they believed that we could have a great future. So what did we have to do? We had to save money, right? College savings bank, 10 cents on every dollar had to go to the savings bank, right? And we had then to get good grades so we could get scholarships. And so it was a coaching opportunity that paid off. So of 7 of us kids, how many made it to college, guys? All 7. How many went on to get a master's degree? And my kid brother Steve, he's the genius, a PhD in computer graphics programming. And he, it's kind of a secret, but the Hubble Space Telescope, when it was launched into space, right, millions of dollars, years of research, had a defect in the lens. They didn't publicize that because people would be upset, but they hired my brother Steve. He wrote computer algorithms to compensate for the defect of that lens. So when you see a Hubble Space Telescope picture, it is perfect. My brother Steve fixed it out. And of course, I taught him everything he knows, so what can I say? But anyways, that's the legacy of having that kind of can-do attitude coaching. So, Hunter demonstrated how to learn, right? It's like catching a football. And so we say you got to prepare to learn, right? Like you prepare to catch the ball, and then you receive it, guys, then what do? Store it, and then you use it. It's 3 steps to learning. Everyone can do that. So it's not like some people are smart, some people aren't. You have to know how your brain learns. So they learned all the steps on how to make that happen. So now you have got brain surgeons, rocket scientists right here in your home. They can do anything that they want. We're very excited about that. Now the pastor of this church here, Pastor Harris, is a dear friend of Debbie and I. He is a teacher at Stewart Middle, so he's bivocational. So he does all that teaching, and then on the weekends and the nights, he's helping lead this church too. He's a really great guy, and he believes in our program, and that's why we are here to do summer camp. So he just wanted to let you guys all know he believes in you too, right? He knows you get, if you're a GPS graduate, you can do it. So then we measure our talents, right? So we have heroes in our program. Story of one of our heroes, 4 years old, she learned to play the piano in her dad's music store in Buffalo, New York. By the age 13, she had practiced so much she was teaching adults how to play the piano when she was her age, right? Went on to get a master's degree in performing arts. Who is this amazing pianist? My wife, Miss Debbie, right? So again, any of you, when you're willing to work at your talents, you can then use those talents to make a difference in this world. So we wanted the kids to find their passions, develop those talents, and then pursue them. So these were our 16 different toolkits from the Myers-Briggs. And our kids, when they realized they were talented, they were priceless, we celebrated, right? It's like scoring a touchdown when you discover your talents. So this is the dream team right here in front of you, a great talented group of young leaders. And then we had them think about, what are my positive talent attributes, right? Because we hear a lot of negative things. So they kind of brainstormed the positive things about themselves. We had them put them on a hero in the mirror. Miss Debbie took their picture, and so they have it to take with them today, their framed hero in the mirror. So they can put it on a nightstand in the bathroom and remind themselves every day that God made you priceless, right? So don't believe the naysayers. Some people are jealous. Some people do all sorts of things. They got their own problems. You know who you are. You know that you're priceless. So the 4th toolkit, our vision, was thinking about, what can I do in my life? But you have to answer 3 questions. What do I need to have? What do I need to do? And who do I want to be? But the order that you answer those questions is so important, right? So what should you focus on? Have, do, or be? What are you aiming for? Be, right? That's the bullseye. Who am I made to be, right? What are my talents? What can I do to make a difference in this world? Well, then I do the things to develop those talents, and then you're going to have the things in life that money can't buy. But unfortunately, in our culture, materialism, they want you to have, right? You got to have all the stuff, the shoes, the phones, whatever it is, right? And then you do things to get that stuff, and of course you can never get it, because as soon as you buy one phone, Another phone is out that makes it obsolete, right? So it's a goal you can't accomplish anyways. But you end up being broke, and some of our kids from the detention center end up being in jail, right? Because they use the 5-finger discount. So the goal is to focus and aim at the important thing. Who do you want to be? So they spend time thinking about their future. And what were they going to do? You can't do everything, but you can do the most important thing. So prioritizing and putting a plan together so that they could have those things that money can't buy. So we had fun solving problems. So there's Carla and Journey. We had a string exercise. It challenged the kids. We finally figured it out, right? But the key we want the kids is to learn to be problem solvers. So giving them different challenges, but then learning how to overcome those. You can use those strategies and the confidence to overcome anything. So the SMART goal tool has 5 steps to it, right? So the S stands for what?
Specific.
Be specific. Then N, measurable. A, attainable. R, relevant. Right? Is this important to me? And then time bound to add up all the attainable steps. So when we come out with a SMART goal plan, it's not just throwing a penny in a wishing well, hoping that I'm going to be something. You come up with a plan. In 10 years, I'm going to be this amazing person, right? Whatever I'm developing to be. So now our kids have a plan to follow. They can always adjust the plan. But they're not just waiting around hoping that something will happen. And of course, a lot of times when our kids are just sitting around, they get bored, so they want to be entertained. But I think we made really clear the job of your parents is not to entertain you, right? Is to help develop you and your talents. So entertainment's a nice thing to have, but that's not the key to success. So then we had them using their SMART goal plan. So here's Alice, she wants to be a nurse, but she has a plan to make that happen. In fact, Alice, you want to be a neonatal nurse, right? With little babies. That's exciting, that's a lot of fun. But now she knows some steps she needs to take to make that a reality in her life. So she has a realistic plan. Our 5th toolkit was our self-management, our 3 T's. So we had the kids learn some time management. Now you say, Mr. Kane, they're kind of young for time management, because I did train presidents of companies. They paid me $5,000 for every time management workshop I did, because time's money, right? But what we're helping the kids do now is to not spend their time, but invest their time, right? So where do you want to invest your time? Preparation, right? You prepare for the test, then in the must-do, you ace the test. You prepare for the game, then you win the game, right? So preparation and must-do creates the good luck of their lives. But some kids, they don't want to do all that work, so what do? They get distracted and they escape. And it might be fun to live in fantasy world, but when they come back to the real world, they've now lost the time they needed to prepare for success, right? So our kids have kind of thought more about that, and they started to identify some things that they're going to change how they're using their time. Instead of distractions and escapism, put it to real preparation for your great future. So we actually had them analyze their time, so now they know how to measure for themselves and take some of those at the bottom, the distractions and the escapism, and reinvest that time in the preparation must-do. Does that sound great? So all the advice you parents have been giving is going to pay off, because now they're finally going to be ready to hear how they need to invest their time and prepare. A very serious though part of this is the temptation. And I think we all realize that the temptations we as parents grew up with, that our kids have many more temptations now, and the consequences are even more severe, right? A gram of fentanyl can kill you. So our kids got educated about drugs. And we talk about like medical marijuana, right? It's medical, it must be good for you, right? No, right? So medical marijuana is the same as regular marijuana. It's just the legal opportunity for people that need that for pain management. You know, maybe they're dying or having a great illness. But healthy kids, you don't want to have short-term and long-term effects from marijuana, right? And other drugs that can lead into it. So they actually learn that drugs are not going to solve your problems. If you're a little depressed, drugs aren't going to fix that. You need to find out, what are you upset about? What's depressing you, right? And some of it could be that you're not getting outside. You know how parents would say, get outside, off the computer, TV? Because they now know that their skin produces serotonin, which gives you a positive mindset, right? And vitamin D helps your immune system. So often people that are getting depressed, young people, is because they're inside all the time. They're not getting outside the natural way their bodies were designed. But also some people are having tough things in life, that's understandable. But drugs are not going to solve your problem there either, right? It's not going to improve your suicide. It actually makes suicidal people feel more suicidal. So we came to understand that there are people out there that want to make money. And they want to make money off all of our kids here. So they've taken now Skittles, you know, a nice sweet candy that's, you know, tasty. But now you see the same colorful package, but it says medicated marijuana. It's medicated, right? What does that mean? It's really marijuana. It's not candy. But it's sold at some of the convenience stores and the gas stations, and some of our kids get a hold of it and they end up in the emergency room because they're eating it like candy, right? So the worst thing is all this now trying to make money by getting people addicted. It used to be cigarettes, right? Put nicotine and get people dependent on cigarettes and all the damage that that does. Well, now the worst thing is the vaping. And so the vaping, it's not even the normal amount of THC from marijuana, it's now concentrated. Sometimes 10, 15 times. So the damage it does to your body, the ability to get addicted is so fast now. So we as parents have got to be educated to help our kids not get into this trap. So our kids being educated, knowing what their brain chemistry, that you have positive chemicals. These drugs hack into those and release unhealthy amounts that take you way up and then drop you way down. But instead, if we do normal, positive things in our life, our brain's designed to release these in healthy levels that makes us feel good, and there's no addiction, there's no withdrawal symptoms. It's the way our bodies were designed. God had a great plan. So again, if dopamine, if we accomplish a task, your brain releases a little bit of dopamine to say, hey, good job, right? If you are working out hard, you get then endorphins, right? The runner's high when you're exercising. But you know, do you also get endorphins when you laugh? So we can't always take life quite so seriously. We got to laugh a little bit, right? And when you listen to music, right? Good music. How about, for instance, oxytocin in relationships? When you help somebody, oxytocin released. That's why you feel good when you help somebody. It's a good thing, and your body rewards you for it. And then, of course, serotonin is so important for your mood management and for realizing that you can get it by simply helping other people, getting out in the sun, right? Sun exposure, and nature. Green. Green, your body is triggered off nature. So if your kids just sit in concrete worlds all the time, their body is not getting the natural stimulation it needs to release serotonin. So that's why it's good to go out camping, right? Get out in nature, take a bike ride, right? You guys now know that's healthy for you. So, given that opportunity, we had a witness of someone who went the drug route, right? Did all the drugs, they were in jail, rehabilitation, the other possibility is death. He was very fortunate. He didn't die. He broke the habit and then is given his witness saying, don't do what I did, right? So our kids, making a proactive choice, said, I don't need those drugs. So they have signed a pledge, which is in their books there, to live drug and alcohol free. And I'm very proud of it. Can we give them a hand? That is a proactive decision, right? And it's going to pay off in your life now, and as I shared with you for what I did, it's paid off for the rest of my life. My liver, I go to the doctor, you know, I'm 64 years old, Has. Go to the doctor and he says, your liver is pristine. It's like a 16-year-old, right? Because I don't drink alcohol. Miss Debbie and I, our home is a drug-free home. We don't need it. We live a good life, right? So they all earned a challenge coin for making that proactive decision. So then the last thing is managing money. So we have this very sophisticated training video that we showed them about how do you manage money, the treasure.
I just can't get these numbers to add up.
Like we're never going to get out of this hole.
Credit card debt, does it ever end?
Maybe I can help. We could use it.
We've tried debt consolidation companies.
We've even taken out loans to help make payments.
Well, you're not the only ones. Did you know millions of Americans live with debt they cannot control? That's why I developed this unique new program for managing your debt. It's called Don't Buy Stuff You Cannot Afford.
Oh, let me see that. If you don't have any money, you should not buy anything. Sounds interesting.
Sounds confusing.
I don't know, honey. This makes a lot of sense. There's a whole section here on how to buy expensive things using money you save.
Give me that.
My favorite line.
And where would you get this saved money?
I tell you where and how in Chapter 3.
Okay, but what if I want something but I don't have any money?
You don't buy it.
Well, let's say I don't have enough money to buy something. Should I buy it anyway?
No.
Now I'm really confused.
It's a little confusing at first.
Well, what if you have the money? Can you buy something?
Yes.
Now take the money away. Same story?
Nope. You shouldn't buy stuff when you don't have the money.
I think I got it. I buy something I want and then hope that I can pay for it, right?
No. You make sure you have money, then you buy it.
Oh, then you buy it. But shouldn't you buy it before you have the money?
No.
Why not?
It's in the book. It's only 1 page long. The advice is priceless and the book is free.
Wow, I like the sound of that.
Yeah, we can put it on our credit card.
So get out of debt now. Write for your free copy of Don't Buy Stuff You Cannot Afford. And if you order now, you'll also receive Seriously, if you don't have the money, don't buy it. Along with a 12-month subscription to Stop Buying Stuff magazine. So order today.
Okay, you get the idea, right? So we live in a very consumer-driven culture, right? And we've shared with the kids as they're preparing for success in life. 75% of Americans live in debt, right? So we can make decisions to manage our money wisely, and we can support our families. So when your parents say, hey, you can't afford something, you don't beg, you don't, right, make guilt trip, you know, oh, come on, please, 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 oh, you're so mean, or whatever. No, your parents are managing the money, right? They're putting money to what we need. The wants come secondary. So our kids then, hopefully they shared with you that they did a budget, learned how to do a budget last night, and had you kind of take a look and talk about it and managing money, because that is a great trap that a lot of young people fall into, because credit cards are so easy, right? You get credit and then you start spending, you can't pay it off, and then the interest starts building, right? So the sixth toolkit was in our managing our healthy relationships. We use the golden rule, right? Treat others the way you want to be treated. So practice respect, right? Start to help respect everyone's special personality, ethnicity, culture, and talent. So Aretha had it right. All we need is like a little respect. So we talked about having healthy relationships, and with our parents, we show respect first, right? Then we can negotiate maybe how to get certain things done, rather than having a win-lose or the battles that go on, things like that. We're going to have to learn how to find win-win in our relationships. So that means we have to break some bad habits. So we practice again, what's a habit? How do you break it, right? So that they have the ability to change their habits from things that may not be suited or doing well into good habits that serve them well. So our highest level then was teamwork. So we had some time, of course, to get out and have some fun, and we learned how to do work together. Together everyone achieves more. So our mentors were passing on wisdom here, right? And we know that when we work together, we accomplish more. And even our mentors, they're good at popcorn popping, together. They were great help to us. So having some fun, but it all comes down to learning how to use these tools to pursue the great life that God has for you. So we know that if you believe in teamwork, there's nothing that's impossible, right? Put together all these tools for success that we've been studying, and you put together your energy, your passion, and together, what do you get?
Is a million miles away. You got your passion, you gotta believe.
So that's what
This is
we're
why
looking
you
for.
remain.
Find your ideas.
It takes a little time.
Another, figure things out. So today they actually did ad campaigns. They against bullying, against stealing, right? So that they could influence people their ages. They came up with a campaign slogan and some stop and starts. But by doing it together, they created these campaigns they couldn't have done on their own. So they experienced what synergy is and the power of working together, right? So now we have a great opportunity here to get some words of wisdom. Who is this amazing leader, born in New York? He went to North Avalon High School. He attended University campus and graduated from Hamburger University. That might give you a clue. Started working at McDonald's in the bathroom, right? But he did an excellent job in everything he did, and he kept getting promoted, right? He married his beautiful wife, the best thing he ever did, right? Had 3 children, 3 grandchildren, became a VP of Casper McDonald's, their community relations, volunteer, organization in the area, Enterprise Village, board of directors, Hillsborough County, and helped build chamber conference connections. Author of the book, Generating Happiness, which I highly recommend you read. Our keynote speaker today for Character GPS is Bob Canigliaro. Give him a hand, please. Come on down, Bob.
I don't know about
All right, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, he just told me about you. Oh my God. I don't know about you, but everything that he had on that screen that they absorbed in 4 days is amazing. And I want to offer, before I start through my presentation, congratulations. I'm so proud of the decision that came from love and what has occurred in the last 4 days because of that love of your parents, grandparents, and them for allowing you, while the rest of the kids in your schools, thousands of them, are finishing up their summer vacation, you are at this incredible study gym, and I want you to give your parents a round of applause. Okay, that's me, and up there are some of the businesses that I've had the opportunity to speak at, but we're going to go on a mental field trip right now, and we're going to go back to 1994.
Yay.
I know, you're probably saying, my God, my parents weren't even born in 1994. Yeah, maybe they were, but I'll tell you what they did. They went to the movies. And you probably saw this movie too. I'll give you a little hint. Nansingonyama, pakitibaba, sitium ingonyama. You didn't know I speak Zulu. I do. There you go. You know what the movie was? Who can guess? That's how the movie started. The Lion King. Who knew it was the Lion King? What did you say anything? All right, it was the Lion King. And we're going to go through a quick tutorial because it fits perfectly with the lessons that you got. First, you might remember Simba. Simba was the young lion. He was in the jungle with the family. Everything was going good, and then there was a stampede, and there's a problem, and his dad, Mufasa, was trying to find him and save him, and then his uncle Scar came and actually killed him, but he blamed it on Mufasa, and Mufasa booked. He took off, he left the jungle, and as you can see in that picture up there, he hooked up with Pumbaa and Timon. And they would live in what? Hakuna Matata, Hakuna Matata. It was a great life, a problem-free philosophy. Yep, they were. But as circumstances would have it, he runs into Nala. Nala was the lion cub babe that he knew when he was back there. She started growing up, and he started growing up, probably your age. And Nala told him, "You gotta come back to the jungle. It's trashed." But he said, "Nay, nay, I love it out here, my Hakuna Matata life." But he runs into Rafiki. Remember Rafiki, the monkey with the staff? And he says, "Simba, you have to come back." He says, "No." He says, I killed my father." He didn't kill, but he was being blamed for it. He says, "No, he is alive. Follow me." What? So he follows Rafiki to the reflecting pool. You remember the reflecting pool? And he takes a staff and he says, "Look closer, Simba." And he starts stirring the water. And all of a sudden an image is in the water. He sees his face and the image turns and he looks up into the sky and it's Mufasa. It's his dad in the sky. I know, it gets me emotional too. And he hears the voice of Mufasa, and you know what he says? "Simba, remember who you are." Remember that? And that's what we're going to do right now with you. I want you to understand and know who you are, and we're going to bring it home right now. And you've already been told you're uniquely gifted, and it's individual. I don't know what your gift is right there, or yours, or yours, or yours, or yours. I don't know. But what I do know, whatever it is you develop it, I can do it. And it's unique to you. But then again, you got all these challenges that you went through at school: drug dealing, gang stealing, homework, bullying, all of that. And sometimes it feels like, ah! You jumped into the fire! Yes, I know. It does feel like that. Okay, so let's get back on track and talk about that pursuit of happiness, all right? It's right there in the Declaration of Independence. It talks about your inalienable rights, all right, to life, liberty, and the pursuit of, yes, also smart. That's right. It is chasing that God-given right, discovering the gift of talent that is designed uniquely for you. It's fully up to you to seek and develop it. The search begins with a big question. And you know what I found out? Most people don't even ask it. 2% of the people ever ask themselves this question: why am I here? And it's discovering your purpose. What a great gift going through this course, Character GPS, to help you get there. So how do you pursue happiness, and how do you know when you capture it? Well, here's a couple of things. Happiness comes from serving others. Talking about my initial job, cleaning the crap up. Yep, I clean the bathroom and the urinals, but you want to know something? Absolute cleanest bathrooms you ever did see. And I got noticed. And they said, okay, he's pretty good. Let's bring him inside and let's teach him the front counter and how to serve people. And I did. I made every customer smile. I was like an electron up there. Boo, the price tag. Would you like an apple pie? I said, hey, that guy Bob is good. Let's train him in the back. So I was taught production, how to cook the burgers and prepare them. And I would lay that meat on the grill. Ooh, sear it out. Put them on the bones, bam, bam. Big Mac, son. They were beautiful. I said, hey, that guy Bob is good. So to make a very long story a little bit shorter, I was there 47 years. But after that, soon after those clean toilets, here, Bob, here's the keys to the Bush Boulevard restaurant. Go run a multi-million-dollar business for us. Oh, Bob, here's the other set of keys for your new company car. Here's the bonus program that goes with it. Here's the trips that you're going to be making. By the way, we cover your insurance and everything. And I got promoted, eventually to vice president. Where did it come from? Clean toilets and urinals. Doesn't matter where you start. It's where you set your vision on and where you go. So, serving others, fostering positive relationships, finding purpose in your tasks, maximizing your skill, developing your product or service. And with that discovered skill, talent, product, or service, here's what happens. You generate happiness. And this is where the joy in your life is going to come from. And you are going to get a massive return on that investment of making people happy with your skill and your talent. Okay, so here's the result. Promotion, I just told you about mine. Relationships cultivated. Personal peace on living on purpose, on your purpose, to serve others. And understanding that happiness is not measured by what you get, but it's measured by what you give. Letting go of that talent and giving it to others, whatever it might be. I got some quotes that will give you some perspective here. This one is by Albert Schweitzer. One thing I know, the only ones among you who will be really happy are those who have sought and found how to serve. Some really brilliant people have kind of figured this out way before all of us. Oh, and I love this one. If you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. I'll give a little story. My brother worked for a company on Long Island. And he was a grunt, he just swept the floors over there. But they made military hardware. And he came home one day and said, "Hey, Joe, this could be on TV. He's retiring after 30 years. And I said, "What did Joe do?" He was a riveter. He put rivets on fighter planes. And if you ever looked at a plane, you see all those little plates and all those little rivets around it. That's what he did. 30 years. Got it, did it. He put in a lot of rivets. When he was interviewed by the TV station, they said, "So Joe, what did you do for the last 30 years?" He didn't say he was a riveter. He said, "I helped protect the free world." Oh. Wrap your head around that. For me, 47 years under the arches, all came down to two things that I did. In everything, from doing this, "Here you go, princess, here's your Happy Meal," to that set of keys I would give to a manager, "Congratulations, you're now being promoted," to sitting on the boards of the Hillsborough Education Foundation. I'm still currently the chair of the Hillsborough County Public Schools Hospitality and Tourism Advisory Board, and I'm the president of Crime Stoppers Tampa Bay. And the net result of all of that, I generate happiness. And I wrote a book about it. Anyway, there's one more quote. This one is from John Ruskin. "The highest reward for a person's toil is not what they get for it, but what they become by it." And because there are some other ones, but and they're from thousands of years ago in the Bible. There's two quotes here. I'll let you read them. But I'm going to ask you to read the next few things about perspective and character GPS graduates. And who would like, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 characteristics of each of you. And if you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. Do I have a volunteer to read number 1? You might win a new car, I'm just saying. You might not. All right, you're going to read the first one. Go ahead. Loud.
I am
Read
the
it.
hope and promise of
Out loud.
I am the hope and promise of the future for my family and friends.
Yes, you are!
Yeah.
Second one. Who's going to read it? Alice, right? You guys saw you on the screen. You're David. Okay, Alice, go ahead.
I will stand in the gap, helping those I care about in the most challenging times.
That's what nurses do, isn't it? Yes, it is.
Oh.
So, pretty neat that that's the one that you got to read. All right, the third one. Who's going to read it? Come on. Somebody jump on it. Just read it. Come on. You can do it. I easily. Go ahead. I easily and readily distinguish right from wrong and make educated decisions to honor God and my family. Very nice. The next one, because we're kind of crunched on time here. I am strong in my resolve to overcome any obstacles and will never give up despite any challenges before me. And the last one, you can't even see it. I will set a positive example for my peers and the younger eyes watching me. And this one I'm going to read to you. With the unduplicatable, unique talents that each and every one of you possess, and with all that you have and will accomplish going forward, you are serving others at a high level, only yet to be exceeded by your desire to continue to serve. You, as a Character GPS graduate, will generate happiness in abundance and will do it with His grace and knowing who you are. All right. I'm going to go through the next two slides quickly, and I want everybody to stand up. Everybody stand up. All right. There's a biblical story here. I'm not going to go through the whole thing, but there are three kids that opposed King Nebuchadnezzar, who wanted them to worship a gold idol, and they said, "Nay, nay, Kingo." They said, "We won't do it." So he threw them into a furnace. And he said, and then the king said, "Hey, I threw three of them in there, and how come I see four?" And they came out, and there wasn't a hair in their head that was burned. And that's their names. I call them Shad, Mesh, and Abed for short. But it comes to the closing song that we're going to videotape you all dance to right now. I found this song. I'm jogging around my block. This song comes on. I go, "Oh, I love this song." And I want you to remember that first slide that I jumped into the fire. Remember? Remember that one? The name of this song is "I Got Out." I jumped into the fire, but I got out. And I want to see you. I want to see you move. Ready? Here it comes. I got out! Very good. You know who the winner was? Actually, nobody. You were all very good, though. All right, that's the book I wrote, Generating Happiness, 47 years of life lessons under the arches. It's available on my website, and the website is generatinghappiness.com. All right. So, lastly, as I close, I want you to Be grateful, lead with conviction, live authentically on purpose, know who you are, and generate some happiness. Thank you for the opportunity to have it. That's me. I don't know what he's doing right now, but a friend of mine, he also wrote a book. It's 32 pages long. And I'm going to give each of you one of his books. It's really cool. And it's got some good stuff in there. It's $1. No. Oh, I ran out, man. Okay, the whole graduation is coming. Your certificates and all, and it's really going to be, I think so.
Isn't Bob great? Yes. He is amazing. Bob, thank you so much. Our official, thank you. He's got quite a few of these from us, but
Yeah, that's okay. Get another picture.
thank
Love
you.
to hanging with these smart kids.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
Thank you, Bob.
All right, so now we come to the climax of our graduation, which is these leaders in front of us. So this is not the end, but just the beginning, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to kind of walk through very quickly their accomplishments. What did they learn about themselves in these 4 days? And it sounds like Carla's volunteered to go first. So, actually, I'm going to have Mason come on up. Mason, graduate script from your book. So, we're going to have our graduates answer some questions about what they've learned about themselves, and then we'll celebrate with the rewards that they have, okay? All right, so here we go. First thing we're going to ask him is, what are some positive words that describe you, Mason?
Talkative, energetic, and friendly.
Okay, he's an outgoing, right? He's an extrovert. And what's your Myers-Briggs comfort zone?
Inspector.
Inspector, right? ISTJ. So that's in what grouping?
Guardians.
Guardians, right? And so your strength is?
It's consistency.
Right. And something you have to work on is?
Change.
Change, right? Some changing, some habits, things like that, okay? So what do you want to be someday?
The U.S. Marine.
Isn't that great? Can we give him a hand? So now, being specific, walk through your plan to become a Marine here.
So first I'd have to pass boot camp, but to get steps to becoming there, I'd have to join ROTC in high school.
Yeah.
Finish out high school.
Yeah.
And then I want to get a sports medicine degree.
That's a
college.
Mm-hmm.
And then I enlist in the military.
Right. And you probably end up being an officer with that kind of preparation. That is great. So the relevant is, why is this important? Why do you want to be a Marine?
To fight for the country.
All right. So he loves America. Isn't that great? We love our country, right? So how many years now, adding up all those steps, how many years to your plan?
Depends. If I go straight to the military after high school, it would be 4 years. But if I go to sports medicine, it would be 8, 9.
9 years, right. Okay, so he's got some plans that he can work with. That is great. So what are some principles from Character GPS that are going to help you pursue this?
Teamwork and
love the can-do. That's wonderful. So what's one bad habit that you are going to commit that you're going to break this bad habit because it'll get in the way of pursuing your dreams?
Getting distracted.
Getting distracted. Can we give him a hand? That is awesome. So to save some time and save Carla from being really embarrassed, we're going to have them come out to you and share with your parents their plan of what they've learned about themselves. So if you would go ahead and meet with your parents real quick, share your graduation script, and we'll come back together here.
Take some pictures.
You're right here.
Happy.
Not have a business card. Mrs. Monroe was like, the business card. Business card. Business card.
Okay, you want to try to finish up, come back up? Graduates, we're going to get going on the graduation. All right, so come on back up. Miss Debbie, you're going to take a picture? All right. So again, parents, if you can finish your observation evaluations for the program here, there's a box on the front pew that if you could drop it off in the box for us, we'd really greatly appreciate that. And I'm gonna, before they get, I have to take the pictures. We need our two mentors come up here. We're gonna get pictures real quick. Yeah. Oh, okay. I can call you.
All right, I'll edit this part out of the video.
All right, so again, can we have a hand for our two mentors
Oh my
who
God.
gave up 4 days of their summer?
Oh, wait. Into video.
Congratulations.
Awesome, thank you so much.
All right, and then right here is your certificate. She missed her graduation, so she's kind of getting to do double duty here. So here in the mirror, hold that. And dog tags, right? All right, go ahead, Miss Debbie.
All right, awesome, congratulations.
Okay, so we'll now start our graduation. So the kids worked hard earning bonus chips for doing teaching sheets, for taking their tests. They had a pre-test, post-test, and gained a lot of knowledge demonstrating from that, doing their budgets, doing activities, answering questions, right? So the highest chip getter that we had from our group here was actually Norkame from her class. So she was number 1, and then number 2, Mason, come on down. So Mason, congratulations. You are equipped and you are capable to pursue the dreams you have for your life. You are official graduate. Okay, turn around here. Ms. Debbie, get a picture.
Over here. There.
All right. And I look up to
Congratulations.
Mason.
We both look up to
Oh,
you.
Mason. Give her. All right. Our official graduation grand march.
Oh, Mason, you get to pick out some prizes.
Vanessa, come on down. Your dog tag, you are equipped, you're capable to pursue the dreams you have for your life. You are official. You're here in the mirror, and your certificate, turn around to Miss Debbie here. Whoop, right here.
Look at me.
Hold that certificate up.
That's it. Awesome.
All right, go ahead and pick up
Congratulations.
one
Pick up
prize.
some
We
prizes.
have 4 sections. Hunter, come on down, Hunter. Congratulations, you are equipped and you are capable to pursue the dreams you have for your life. Turn around to Miss Debbie here. All right. Next, Lily, come on down. You are equipped and you are capable to pursue the dreams you have for your life. Turn around to Miss Debbie here. Pull that up. There we go. For your life, congratulations. You're officially a graduate.
Congratulations. Pick up some prizes.
So again, just a reminder, if again we can support these wonderful companies that have been donating and supporting Character GPS so we can provide the camp free for all of you. Kids getting this great education. And we're going to close with a blessing. So may the road rise up to meet you. May the wind be always at your back. May the sun shine warm upon your face. The rain fall upon your field. Until we meet again, may God hold you in the palm of his hands. You are official graduates, and we have a Character GPS graduation cake if you want to come next door, and we will celebrate these amazing kids and kind of look at all their prizes. So thank you for coming. And again, if you drop off the evaluations and...
Could we please have a group photo?
Oh, group photo, right?